once said. But anyways, let's see if I'm live. It's gonna be a short stream today, like short as in it's gonna be an hour and a bit because it's 2:40 p.m. EST. I have my piano lesson at 4:30 p.m. EST. So am I fucking live, bro? Can I get the goddamn there it is. I'm live. Let's go. Now we're gonna hear my voice echoing. Just a heads up. Let's go. Now we're gonna hear my voice echoing. Just a heads up. Thank you for the heads up, Biggie. Anyways, all right. Okay, so what is my goal for today? Right. Well, I did say, well, what I did this last time, right? I drew this for the last live stream, and it's nice, but like there are issues with composition. Do I really understand composition? No, right? But there are issues with how elements are located, and it's hard to read, and it's hard for things to be spaced out well, right? So I went on Tieran's stream because, funny enough, when part 47, the last stream that came out, or not came out, that I was doing, right? Tieran specifically, like he critiques my thing, right? And I asked him afterwards because he didn't really give me a critique. He was like, "Looks good." I'm like, "Thanks, fucker," but I need an actual opinion that isn't soothing my ego, right? But I didn't say it like that, of course. I was like, "Oh, please, please give me advice." All right, but the main thing he said was like try doing it with simple forms. So now we're gonna practice scale, right? I obviously because I obviously struggle with scale a lot, but we're gonna practice scale and we're gonna practice in an angle that I'm not comfortable with whatsoever. So it's gonna be a lot of mistakes. And I'm gonna do this for the next like X amount of hours, dozens perhaps, right? Of hours for the next few live streams. And really focus on simple forms before I go back and draw something more complex. Um, also from imagination, but like basically I'm doing the same thing. I'm scene building or I'm doing something from imagination, but really trying to keep it as simple as possible, right? So well, the angle that I'm gonna do that's very difficult, and you'll see like I'm fucking I'm molesting this page with my finger across. This is basically the horizon line, right? This is the horizon line. All the perspective is going to be focused here. I just thought of a general scenario, right? And by simple forms, I mean boxes, cylinders, right? Maybe they're angled in a particular way. Maybe they have slight manipulations, maybe, right? But like overall, it's primarily just gonna be as simple as I can make it, right? And and because the horizon line's down here, that means this is gonna be the perspective of essentially, let's just say like an animal or like a small, yeah, like a small animal, like a rat. Because the scenario that I thought of is like somebody using a food stall. We'll start with that, right? We'll start with that. We'll start with somebody using a food stall. Do I know what a somebody or a food stall looks like? No, not really. But I looked up a picture just now of a food stall 10 minutes ago, and I was like, yeah, shapes, I understand. Yes, and we'll see where that takes me. Right? But this is the most important part is like trying to keep it simple. And it's difficult because like I really have to think in terms of like yeah, I have to think in terms of like, okay, like it's scale, right? So whatever's in front is gonna be larger. And because we're the horizon line's over here, like way at the bottom, right? It's basically like whatever we're looking at is gonna look like it's floating um on the page. So I have to keep that in mind as well. So now I also have to think like, and by the way, like while I'm talking right now, I'm already thinking, I'm already drawing in my mind, right? Like I'm already trying to figure things out. I'm already calculating. So that's really important too. Like I want to keep stressing the fact that drawing is not the act of putting down a mark on the page. Drawing is the act of making decisions and problem solving and coming up with specific ideas, right? And trying to problem solve that and like and visualize it before you even make a mark, right? Like it's about intent. Drawing is intent. So I'm intentionally trying to figure out, like even now I keep kind of changing the spacing of the horizon line, and it's all three-dimensional, by the way. It's all based on perspective in 3 dimensions, right? None of it's not in like, yeah, maybe silhouette and all this other shit's involved, but like and that's a maybe, right? But it's always focused on perspective. And yeah, like right now I keep changing the like first the horizon line's here, now it's down here because I'm trying to problem solve in my mind, like, hey, how the fuck am I gonna do this? Like, how does this make sense? I've literally never done something like this before, right? So I guess we'll start with the figure, right? We'll start with the figure and we'll start with, yeah, because if this is the ground, well, I don't want it to be converging because if this is the horizon line, right? I don't want it to be like an insane 4 point perspective either, right? Where everything's kind of converging super fast this way. And I can decide the scale myself, right? So let's just say right now, what I'm trying to visualize is a mannequin and then a food stall, like a food stall mannequin, if you will, like a food stall made out of simple shapes, right? That's what I'm trying to visualize. By the way, if anybody's here, which nobody is, I'm pretty sure, please draw along, right? Like I don't know if this this process won't mean anything now. I'm sure 10 years from now, people will look back at this and be like, wow, this was the process that he kept doing. Like, oh my god, it makes so much sense. But now none of you will give a shit, obviously, because it's just like, bro, you're just some random fucker on the internet with 1.06K subs and one person watching, which is myself. Because I have my laptop on the side to make sure everything still why's my voice sounding like that? To make sure everything still makes sense. But yeah, I'm trying to like figure out, and the thing is, I don't even know how to draw a proper mannequin. So this mannequin is going to be based off my rough understanding and practice that I did months ago, like last year, because I haven't practiced mannequins in a very long time, right? Yes, I put in about a total cumulative 10 to 12, maybe 20 hours, right? But that was in the beginning when I didn't understand it as well either. So like my primary understanding of a figure mannequin is still very novice, right? My shapes have gotten a lot better, which is what's going to be carrying me right now. My shapes and understanding of perspective, but either way, right now I just need to think like how much do I want? Okay, so let's just fuck it. Let's just say horizon line is here, right? Yeah, horizon line is here. Okay, so if horizon line is there, we can actually start with the foot because if the horizon line is there, then the person's foot is resting on this, right? Maybe we can have like a very slight, like a very narrow angle. I just need to think about this properly. How big do I want this mannequin to be as well? Maybe not that big. Maybe let's just say I don't want this mannequin to be that big either, but let's just say and the food stall, maybe it'll be cut off a little bit. Do I want it to be cut off a little bit? No. Okay, so let's move it over because I want the food stall to be here, and I want the person to be here, right? So, actually, the person in perspective is probably going to be because this it's let's just say one convergence is this way, right? And another convergence is this way, right? And then obviously there's gonna be somebody behind the food stall. Let's just fuck it. So let's just put this person more towards this area because I have trouble with proportions, right? So like right now I'm envisioning like, oh yes, person here, food stall here. It's not gonna work out that way. I know for a fact now, like I can at least recognize that pattern for myself that it's not gonna end up like that. So we'll put the person here and we'll start with their foot. And let's just say because the horizon line is always all the way down here, we'll do something like this. And this is extremely new territory to me, by the way. So I want to make that clear as well, right? Like what I'm doing right now, and I haven't really drawn a figure mannequin in a very long time. And let's just say there's just not going to be much convergence happening, um, like with the feet themselves. Okay, so like that, and then we have the other foot here, right? And we'll just keep trying to figure this out. And it'll probably, like, without a doubt, there will be a million mistakes being made. And I want that to be clear. Like, right now, because I'm going to be spending dozens of hours on this, clearly. So it's not really, like, it really doesn't fucking matter. Like, look at that. I already fucked that line up. But it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things how many mistakes I make because, like, right now, look how fucking ass my lines are. And it feels amazing to make these mistakes, right? Like, it genuinely feels good because I've trained myself to feel good because it's a mindset team. It's a hashtag mindset team. Anyways, look at that. That angle, I struggle with my lines so much. But and like while I'm drawing these feet, you have to remember I'm drawing something I'm unfamiliar with, but I'm also trying to think about the larger scale of what I'm drawing, right? So that is also very, very difficult. I have a feeling that like when I'm finishing up my stream, a bunch of fuckers are gonna come on and be like, "Whoa, hey, what's going on?" Blah blah blah, right? And then I'm just gonna be like, "Manakama, please." Okay, so like again, this has to be because it's all in perspective, right? Bring this up. I'm basically what I'm doing is I'm projecting a perfect square, right? Up in this perspective. Like compared to this, I'm projecting it upwards. And then I'm obviously giving it the same vanishing points comparative to the horizon line that the feet have, right? And then I am also aligning it with this ellipse here to create something like this, right? An ellipse that is relatively decent in perspective, right? And I know the calves are a bit tapered, so we're just going to taper them. And the proportions are just going to be arbitrary because I haven't trained proportions to the extent that one would believe they need to, or one should when it comes to like these mannequins, because I haven't trained these mannequins. I've maybe drawn a total of like 60 mannequins so far, right? Not 600. So let that be like another hopefully another reminder of like how many repetitions you need to even be mediocre. I really want that to be like the staple of what I say. It's like don't never forget the words like how many repetition repetitions it takes to be mediocre. Right? Not to be good, but to just be mediocre. Right? It takes hundreds. And look at that line. That's ass. Right? And again, I've drawn thousands of lines at this point, and I'm still absolutely mediocre. Absolutely. So again, we need to. This is like a partial sphere. I guess yeah, that's how Antonio put it, right? From Artwad, like that's a partial sphere. And again, really trying to keep it as simple as possible, like genuinely trying to keep it as simple as possible, because this person is basically setting the scale for what the size of people will be, right? So, and again, we need to ensure that this is in perspective, something like that, right? Bring this up, and then again, trying to follow the convergence. That's already a mistake. I'm pretty sure I already made a mistake there because it's really hard to draw an ellipse that's cut out, but also like contextually accurate, right? So again, let's try to, and I'm pretty sure the quads are slightly bigger, right? I'm just trying to think. We, yeah, they're also tapered, from my understanding. And again, this is my understanding. This is not the Artwad mannequin specifically. It's just going to be like what I vaguely remember of the Artwad mannequin, right? So, and I obviously want to start adding some gesture as well. I know I said that word like I know what the fuck it means. Do I? Not really know, but I will say it again. Gesture, gesture, right? And then maybe that'll mean something at the end of the day. Okay, so I'm pretty sure like this is already a bit fucked, but again, I'm really trying to keep that vanishing point in mind. While I do this. And overall, it's starting to look like it's decent in perspective. Nothing incredible, but decent in perspective, right? And I'm not. That's not that I'm not aiming for it to be anything more than decent, but this is the beauty of it all, right? And like, okay, clearly this person's converging much faster than I wanted them to, because look at this. Like, this is coming down here, and this guy's converging really fast. Now, this is the beauty. Is like I'm gonna start. Obviously, I want to have some gesture, just a little bit, right? So now, I don't know what the pelvis actually looks like in this case, but I'm trying to think, right? I'm trying to think about the pelvis in relation to the legs, in relation to the what's it called? The fucking yes, the torso, right? So the pelvis is clearly something that's tilted backwards. No, it's yeah, it's tilted forward, sorry. The chest is tilted, the torso is tilted backwards, and then we have a box connecting them. So we could try something like, oh, okay. So I'm going to attempt gesture here. I'm going to attempt it. Actually, the pelvis here, let's like really curve this out. It's all in perspective, hopefully. And this guy's like really leaning in, is what I'm gonna try to do, right? This mannequin, emphasis on the man, right? Let's see. So, and I want him to lean in, but also be looking up. Like I want it to be like a really dope. And the thing is, like, obviously, it's gonna look a bit awkward because I wasn't thinking about gesture when I was making the legs, right? So, like, obviously, there should be a bend to. Actually, no. If you instead of having him leaning, let's have him look up, right? So we'll do something like this, okay? And obviously, I'm trying to keep the proportions of the mannequin in mind, right? This isn't really an accurate mannequin, and I think I already fucked a couple things up, right? Definitely already fucked a couple things up, but let's see. Purple Haze. Buenas tardes. Hey, what's going on? What's up, Purple Haze? It's been a while since you pulled up. How have you been? How have you been? How be the haze that is purple? Fucking anyways. Anyways, seriously. Okay, so now this is the storytelling part that I can try to think about, right? Which is this guy is he's leaning a bit, but he's mostly kind of just be like, let's say he's looking up. He's trying to look at the prices. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good little story that we can have. So now I really have to visualize what would somebody who's and yeah, like the legs definitely are way too stiff. Like I know that because again, it starts rigid, right? But what is oh shit, I'm not even charging my phone. I just took that in. Let me plug this in. Fuck. I was it's a good thing I got the indicator. I'm supposed to be charging it. That's why I have this whole setup. It's gonna be shaking a little bit. Apologies. Let's fix that. Let's is that good? Yeah, that's good. And it's charging. Okay, cool. Yeah. It is charging, right? Let's see. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, continuing onwards, right? Continuing onwards with the drawing, right? So what is someone who is looking up? Like, what are they going to be doing? And this is from the middle. There you go, something like that. Doing pretty decent. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Right? They're like that, and then this is obviously. They're looking. Okay, so I don't know if I got this correctly. That's clearly a mistake, right? But let's see. That's definitely off perspective. I thought I got it, but I didn't. I didn't curve it properly. Yeah, definitely didn't curve it properly, but that's supposed to be like the connection between the pelvis and the torso. So that's a good mistake as well, right? Again, like I haven't drawn mannequins, so this is good practice. Like this is just even though I'm not gonna be drawing figure mannequins and actually doing the portrait or like art wad figure roadmap for a while because I'm focused on portraits. This is still good practice to think about those simple shapes, right? So what is somebody who is looking at prices? Let's just say he's slightly leaning in. See, and like now I am regretting not adding more gesture to the knees because now I'm realizing like it matters that people like this guy just looks this person, this mannequin, whatever, they just look very rigid and stiff. And it seems like I'm still trying to make them lean inwards, but let me let me try something like this, right? This way I can oh see fucked up the perspective. Okay, we gotta fix that a little bit. And then we gotta do something like this. And then we got to bring this back and hopefully that's aligned. That's a little bit better. Like people do twist when they move, right? And this is the part where I need to really think about proportions because this is definitely a lot higher up. So this person obviously ended up becoming bigger than I expected, which is good. Like I would rather it be more established in terms of scale, right? But this is good. Like this is my first attempt at trying to use simple forms to establish a scene, right? With a mannequin that I've never drawn before, like properly, right? So I think I'm already getting better at just at least internalizing that, right? Using as simple forms as I can. Let's get the neck and let's see. I obviously should have added more gesture to this as well. And by gesture, I just mean curve, right? That's just my fucking pen just wants me to go fuck myself, I guess. Jesus Christ, but come on, come on. Whatever. And let's see. What action do people do when they're thinking and they're like, prices, prices. Well, let's see. Because this is the perspective again, and let's just see, like, are they what is this individual thinking about? Right? Or maybe they're talking to the hand to chin. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, very, very true. That's I was trying to figure that out. It's like now I'm just trying to conceptualize like how would that look, right? Like how would that actually look? And I guess we can start with something like okay, so this is the perspective. We'll do the partial, the semi-sphere that Art Watt teaches, right, for the shoulders. Those are all simple forms, of course, right? It's like, yes, you know. So hand to chin. So their face is here. So would it be something like? Because now obviously things are going in different perspectives. Would it be something like, let's see, let's see. Okay, so how would that look in perspective, right? Maybe if I draw the head, it would make things easier. And if I draw the shoulder here, okay, then I could do something like this actually. We could have this shoulder like and then the other hand is on their hip, right? That would make things a little bit better. Okay, just me thinking out loud, right? It's not bad, all things considered. The fact that I've never done this before is not bad at all. And like again, I'm trying to think about the perspectives. Like, what would this look like, right? Maybe something like, that's the got to think about this. It's going away, and then maybe then this is foreshortened, right? There you go, something like that. It's on their hip, something like that. And then obviously hand, which I didn't even account for, is let's just add some. There you go, like that, right? Just a simple box. That kind of does look like their hands on their hips, right? This fucker's hands is on their hips. So now it's just coming down to like, okay, well, how do you do hand to chin? Well, we have the neck. Let's just say again, this is the center, right? Obviously, trying to calculate that, right? And what am I trying to calculate right now? Well, again, this is like clearly a very drastic convergence. I thought I was adding more variety and like difference in perspective to the body, the body, the body language, but let's see, like this is clearly like again, this is the horizon line, right? This bottom right here, you know. Maybe it would be better to draw the head first. Yeah, I mean, I went foot up because that's very difficult, and I've actually never done foot up before. And I remember when I tried doing foot up 2 years ago, or yeah, a year and a half ago. This was really difficult to do foot up, but I'm doing it like it's nothing. So clearly, me drawing more complicated hard surface shapes and spatially reasoning those has actually just made my brain understand that really they're just shapes being put together, right? And yeah, like okay, there you go. I just realized I progressed. Yeah, see, I would have agreed with you. It's better to draw the head first if I still had that level of skill a year and a half ago. But now I didn't even think about it. It didn't even mean anything to me. It's like, okay, whatever. Like it was gonna be a bit difficult, but I know the relative proportions and I know the relative shapes. And I was like, that's good enough for me. That's actually crazy, guys. There you go. Like there you go. Right, Purple Haze. There's a if you go to my okay, actually, like, yeah, if you go to my channel and you go to the portrait playlist, right, you'll see what I mean. Like, if you just go to the first like 2, 3 videos, just randomly click on them, you'll see I always started head first because it was so difficult. Now I'm like, I don't even think about it. Right, that's crazy. I mean, it's not really that crazy. That's literally progress, but it's nice to maybe they're looking up. It's nice to be able to visualize and to see that. Right now, again, this cylinder definitely should have been a lot more curved, like I just did there. Right. Good shit, good shit. Okay, so when somebody's looking up, right, because the head is not going to follow the perspective anymore, so we need to make sure that it is, yeah, something like this. Like he's looking up or she's looking up, whatever the fuck. Well, we'll figure out what wig we want to give them afterwards. Right now, it's a Z, right? Z's looking up, right? But if we want to follow this perspective, actually, clearly, so because again, this is the perspective the neck's in, right? But again, like in reality, people can turn their neck up and then move their head down. Although that's very difficult. So I guess, yeah, I just tried doing that and I was like, wait, never mind, that's fucking hard as shit. So the head is basically like 1/3 of the torso or like half the torso. So we're not trying to make this guy have a 5 head. So that's roughly half, right? And then we'll just do something like this. Now this could be wrong. Like I want to be very clear that I'm not really sure of what I'm doing, but I'm trying to figure it out. Right? I'm trying to figure it out. And we don't really this is the okay, that's not bad. They don't really look like they're looking up though. So that's on me. Like it could have been tilted more. And that's a beautiful mistake. Now it's just like, how do we make this person seem like they are stroking their chin or like, holding their and that's actually going to be hidden, right? That's actually going to be hidden when it comes to yeah, when it comes to the perspective, because I'm really trying to do the whole Kim Jong Il thing, where, and that's just the way he frames it. But everybody does it in a different way. Everybody has a different framing. But I think the framing he uses, where it's like, I just try to imagine what it would be like if I was there. So we really have to try to put ourselves in this world, right? So if I was in a world where everybody was simple shapes, and if I was in a world where I was looking at them from the bottom up, right? How would this person who's clearly now looking at something, how would, and this is obviously like a little bit hidden as well, right? I didn't do that properly here because I didn't think too much ahead, but how would this person's arm be situated, right? Like, I think that's a good framing too, because when your spatial reasoning gets good enough, it gets easier to think about it that way, right? When your mind is only occupied with just trying to figure out the simple forms, then you won't have the ability, at least in my opinion, like it's too much mental effort to A, figure out the forms, B, figure out where they're converging, where, like, and how they're placed together, C, figure out how they're all going to make sense in the same scene. And then on top of that, now you're expending consistently 80% of your cognitive energy towards those three things that I mentioned. But now you also have to try to be like, oh, try visualizing it as if you're there yourself. It's like, no, no, I'm sorry. Like, I'm already trying to do many other things, right? But now I'm at the level of skill where drawing the forms and visualizing and just the amount of brain energy it takes to do those three things is significantly reduced. Why? Because of repetition, intentional repetitions, and excess effort of years put towards that. That doesn't mean I stop thinking about it, right? I'm literally still consistently thinking about this horizon line down here. I'm literally, because this is a very different and very new perspective for me, right? But now, long story short, what I'm trying to say is like now I can think about what would somebody's arm in this perspective look like if they're thinking, right? Okay, so I just have to is it actually like this? Yeah, isn't it like no, because okay, because like I was thinking maybe it's going up, but it's not going up because then in real life, from that perspective, it looked like they're about to take a phone call more than anything, right? So, oh, actually, it might be like this, where it's yeah, 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 it might actually be like this. Yeah, it's tapered in, right? And I'm pretty sure this is a bit incorrect, but it's kind of like, there you go. There you go. That's a bit better, right? Because it's going towards their body. I mean, could have actually angled this a little bit better. Maybe should have been more like that, right? But the point is, it's tapering downward toward their body, and then it's like, okay, then the forearm is coming up and it's on their chin. I feel as if this could have been a lot more readable. It definitely could have, and I feel, and this is definitely a huge mistake because I was still too rash, whatever you want to call it. I was still too gung ho, right? Too quick to decide, on like, yes, that is what I want, which is great and all. Like decision making and quick decision making is good when you have confidence in that decision, not when the decision itself doesn't really make sense, right? So like now I have to like think like, okay, this is coming down here or coming. Actually, this was probably more accurate, but either way, it's coming down there. Forearm coming up here, and then maybe we can just have a little bit of that hand. Right? They're kind of just like thinking. They're just kind of feeling up their face. Right? Is it on their chin? No, it's more towards the nose, but that's just for me more than anything, right? So, okay, so we've got the person and they kind of look like they're thinking about something. That's not bad. It does actually look like, gesturally speaking, they're thinking about something, right? So now what are they thinking about? You know, what are they thinking about? And this is the beauty where like now I can start thinking about the food stall, right? And let's how close do we want them to the food stall? Because again, we need their eyes to convert. Well, your eyes can still look up. Again, this is why I love figures, and this is why I'm so excited to. I'm not in a rush, but I'm excited over the, like probably next year to get to the Art What Figure roadmap because they tell stories. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna try it now. Clearly, I can try it now, and clearly, it's not even that bad, right? But this person is looking here, their eyes looking up here, maybe, right? So that's still in perspective because we can just bring it up, go up here, and now we can have a food stall that is a sign, right? So maybe something like, and this is again, I'm trying to use the simple shapes, right? These are the simple shapes I'm trying to use. It's really good. I completed it not so long ago. The figure roadmap. Yeah, no, I agree. Like I know it's really good. That's why I'm excited to just take my time with it. Right. And what perspective do we want this food stall to be in? Because this person doesn't have to be in the same perspective of the food stall. That's the beauty of real life, is the fact that they can just be turned away. Right. But I guess for just to establish the perspective with these two things, you know, it would be good to and like scale as well, right? Like this sign is obviously going to be much larger, right? Yeah, I'm extremely excited about the figure roadmap because this is what I can accomplish by doing the figure roadmap or like the figure work because this was their figure part of their beginner course before. Now it's like a whole roadmap, but this is the work I did. I mean, whatever's recorded on that on that playlist, plus I think 10 to 12 hours, right, of before I started recording my channel in general is the only figure work I've done. But obviously, because you guys can see the sequential progress I've made beyond the figure stuff, right? Like the hundreds of hours I put towards consistent fundamentals and everything beyond that, right? Like I can still draw a decent figure now. It's crazy. It's actually insane to me, right? And obviously through just constantly like osmosis, watching Antonio's videos, thinking about it a bit more, right? So we will establish the perspective with this being the sign, right? We'll definitely establish the perspective with this sign, right? And again, like I'm also really trying to think about composition. Do I know what it means? No, I want to be very clear. Like I'm not really, oh yes, I know what composition means. And here's another thing that people don't think about when it comes to the difficulty of perspective and aligning. This person's head is clearly tilted and looking elsewhere, right? But you see how like that perspective, it's so easy to have this in your peripheries fuck with this. Okay, that's a skill to be able to maintain the perspective of something in relation to something else being in a different perspective, right? Like that's a skill. Like even now, like all of this, like this entire person's actually fucking with me right now, but that's on me, and this is why I'm visualizing that horizon line and thinking about, I guess, Master Kim Jong Il's um like a little statement being like, what would it look like in real life, right? That helps a little bit, I'd like to think, right? So this is, let's just say, the front of the food stall, right? It's like the little sign or whatever the fuck they have, And again, I'm trying to use simple shapes, right? I'm really trying to use simple shapes to make this. And yeah, like maybe like we'll do simple cutouts. Obviously, like I'll do little simple cutouts here and there, but we're not gonna go past simplicity, like box, cylinder. God damn, that was a. I'm sorry, Purple Haze. That must have fucked your ears up. But a beautiful burp. Beautiful, beautiful burp, nonetheless, right? Lines are really struggling. Yeah, but obviously, like, it's gonna be a nice balance of simple shapes with a little bit of detail here and there. Nothing crazy, but it's all about the manipulations. Oh, sorry, it's all about thinking about the perspective and just trying to create scale, right? This already establishes that this is a decent amount bigger than this, or like this sign or whatever the fuck, right? So, man, I wish I had longer to draw today. I'm actually kind of upset, but it's what it is, right? It's just what it is. And obviously this increases in scale as well, and then it goes down here, right? Because we're thinking about it's converging. Not that like it's converging intensely, but it is converging, right? But my burps are beautiful either way. Okay, cool. That's like the little sign that exists. Right now, how do we want this sign to connect? How do we want the sign to connect? I'm really excited. This is hopefully like I'm really gonna try to focus on having scale be a big lesson that I focus on. So here's the thing. Now I got to think about like, okay, well, this is a food stall, right? So maybe, okay, maybe it's something like this actually, right? Because this is like the general perspective, right, of this food stall, and we can have it, yeah, we can have it connected like so. Let's see, something like yeah, I could do something like this, where this is actually, yeah, again, like slight combinations and things will occur like that. So that way, there yeah, go something like that. So this is actually, and we won't make this too big actually, now that I think about it. We'll end it here, right? Because I do again want this food stall to be generally, and we got to think about foreshortening here as well, right? This is actually what Tom Fox does quite a bit of. And I was actually like very fortunate to just be watching his video just on Instagram. He was making a video like of a highlight of his stream, and I was like, this is really good information because he definitely keeps it like he practices what Kim Jong Il would do all the time, right? And I'm not saying like Kim Jong Il came up with this practice, but the fact that there's so much of it documented is really just a benefit for us, right? Like the learner. Um, yeah, Kim Jong Un has many videos where he'd be like, "Oh yes, I think about it in terms of this," and the think about it in terms of this is always he paid attention to his surroundings for decades on end, right? As he was getting better, and consistently throughout those decades, while he was observing, he would keep trying to draw the things around him, either live or through recall, especially through recall, and in simple shapes as well. Like was a big part of it, right? Now, again, like keep it simple, but try to still add some complexity. I want to try something like this. right? Just give it a little bit of oomph, as they say. Let's see. So this is coming up, and then it's going down. It's coming up, going down. Okay, so that's roughly where it should be. Roughly there, right? Yeah, and then this is just something I'm thinking about a shape that's jutting out of this cylinder that's attached to the sign, right? And I know I say just, I'm not trying to say it's easy. I'm just saying, like, in terms of the simplicity, that's all it is. I know this is very difficult. I'm sure many people watching this would struggle a lot with it. I'm struggling with it right now. So trust me when I say I understand how difficult it is. If there's one thing I'll always be very, very insistent on, and I understand as a beginner, right, is the fact that none of this is easy. Like I get it, you know, like because think about it. You're thinking about the convergence. You're thinking about the shape, the type of manipulation that's going to be. You're thinking about how it's attached to this shape. You're thinking about how it aligns in this perspective. You think about where it converges this way as well, and you're thinking about the story as well, right? And perhaps even the silhouette, you know? And you also want to make sure your lines are clean, right? And you want to hold all of this while you're drawing it, right? And I'm not even saying if you were attempting this, you're thinking about all of that. Depending on your skill level, you're just thinking, can I just draw this fucking shape without fucking up the perspective, right? And that is normal. That is very normal. Okay, that's extremely normal. And that's expected too. Okay, like that is literally expected. So do not believe that that is not normal as well. Like that's just how it is. Right? How many vanishing points are you considering in this painting? Oh, what's up, Jack Van Loren? Are you new? Are you old? Are you hashtag Viggy Fammer? Anyways, how many vanishing points? Right now, just two. Just one here, right? This is the horizon line, somewhere down here. Just yeah. And I'm trying to keep this at least like because this was the established perspective essentially of this person's leg, right? Like I'm trying to keep that pretty consistent with this, right? There will obviously be a lot of minute mistakes occurring, but I'm thinking about two, just one, two, and then everything right now will be straight. Yeah, it's gonna be a very basic 2 point perspective, right? As I continue to practice these simple forms but scene based exercises, right? It'll probably get more complicated. I might have three, right? Like whether it's a top down or bottom up perspective, and then I'll probably move on to four. But that will take hundreds and hundreds of hours and many years, right? I'm new here and I'm new to drawing. Well, join us. Become a hashtag ViggyFammer. Hashtag ViggyFamming is a term I came up with to bring back good old audience. What is it like fan base names and shit? So yeah, join us. And to be a hashtag ViggyFammer just means that you're trying your best. It means you put a lot of effort in, and then you enjoy that effort. That's basically what I'm turning this disgusting fan name into. So you're welcome, I guess. Right? Okay, so again, like I don't know what this shape ended up being, but now I have to problem solve that as well, right? Like, what is this shape? Is it something like this? Is this a cutout? Let's see. It could be a cutout actually. And again, like I know I'm really trying to make sure that whatever complexity I add will make sense. But I already fucked it up a little here. Because again, like it's very difficult to think about cutouts and all that shit. But draw along. Anybody who's here, please do fucking draw along. Do not for the love of Christ use me as a goddamn. It's just don't use me as actual just drawing shit. What am I trying to say? I don't know. I can't think right now. I definitely fucked this up, but I think perhaps it can be fixed. I don't know. I think I fucked it up. You see, like these mistakes will happen consistently while you're drawing, right? And that's just part of it. Yeah, that's just part of so I definitely fucked this up. I just kinda have to think about what am I doing to, make it look not as ass. I love how I said I was gonna make things complex, and then I did this bullshit, and now it's definitely way more complex than it needs to be. Okay, so that's completely wrong. That's completely off. Been practicing lines and basic shapes for the past week, and just recently I'm trying to draw boxes in different rotations. So just got introduced to perspective and vanishing points. That's really good. Do that for 6 months straight. Not 1 week. Oh, sorry, your 1 week is amazing. Not just 1 week is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to disparage your efforts. The fact that you're already doing that is incredible. You should be very proud of yourself for trying, because that's all that matters. All right. But one thing you need to understand is like it will not take you just a few weeks of doing this to get better. It will take you just a few dozen weeks to get slightly better. Let's say like a 40% improvement, right? And that is the reality of learning any skill. So the sooner you feel good about that, and where you're like, damn, that's good. The fact that I can just consistently keep going and get better, right? But you just need to understand what getting better entails, right? Man, good on you. Good on you. Maybe that sounded like it was I was I don't know. It depends on your mindset, right? If that sounded scary, it shouldn't. But see, I already fucked it up. I have such a goddamn tendency to keep making things more complex than they need to be. But in this context, we'll just have to allow it because I've already made the mistake. It's what it is, right? But keep going, keep practicing your lines, keep practicing your shapes. Am I connected to the Wi-Fi or am I connected to data? Okay, no, I'm connected to Wi-Fi. That's good because last time my shit was getting asked because I was connected to data. But yeah, see, like I have such a fucking shitty, annoying tendency to try to detail things. But we're gonna leave it. We made the mistake. We're gonna leave it, right? And we're gonna try to make it more simple, right? But what does this food stall look like? If that's this part of the food stall, okay, so we need to let's see. Okay, so maybe I can make this like a simple structure, like because one thing, and the thing is, this is gonna teach me is the fact that it's all about connecting things, right? It's all about connecting things. So yeah, but seriously, like good on you. Like keep going. Just know that this foundation work that you're doing is what's going to improve you the most, right? If you ever doubt the efficacy, I guess, of practicing your lines, don't, because that's generally what's going to be the biggest return on investment. Practicing your lines, practicing your perspective, right? Like that is going to be your biggest return on investment, 100%. Okay, so I managed to connect it so it doesn't look too ass anymore. That actually doesn't make any sense. Yeah, because like this is jutting out and then I'm connecting it here. Actually, no, it does make sense. It makes complete sense. What the fuck am I saying? See, I don't even know my perspective. And I've been doing this for 3 years. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe that puts it into perspective, right? No pun intended. But anyways, uh, but yeah, no, keep going. Just know that all that matters is, and just think about things in terms of hundreds. You're actually enjoying it. That's good. It shouldn't be a surprise that you're enjoying it, right? So the word actually is just a reflection of the fact that perhaps there's been a lot of dissent around like, oh, you shouldn't be enjoying this. No, no, no. If you're enjoying working hard and really trying to understand this, and you enjoy the fact that it's going to take you a lot of work, amazing, amazing. Ignore all sentiment on the internet that says anything retarded. Like, oh, fundamentals are boring. Oh, fundamentals are so, like, no, no, no. Fundamentals are not boring. I will say this till I fucking die. All right. The people who practice the fundamentals are boring because if they were boring, they'd be easy. And if they were easy, they'd be able to do them 100 times over. Right. So fundamentals are not boring. It's difficult. It's mentally stimulating. It's mentally exhausting. And it's extremely difficult to visualize, hold a line, hold a perspective, hold three vanishing points. Bro, it took me fucking 6 months to be able to just consistently see vanishing points for a box that was this big, by the way. Just a box, not even this shit, but for a box. Now, 3 years later, right, or 2.5 years later, a bit over, 2 years, 8 months later, right, from that 6 month mark, I'm literally seeing the entire perspective of this fucking page, right? Before seeing a perspective, seeing a vanishing point here, like that was the furthest I could go. Here, like right here, that was the furthest I could go for a vanishing point. Let's say the box was this big, right? I could go here and I could go here. And it took me 6 months of consistent, really, really, really difficult effort of just, okay, first you gotta think about the line. Okay, we gotta think about the perspective. Okay, we gotta keep thinking about the line. We gotta draw the line while holding the perspective. We gotta draw the line while holding the perspective for two different planes. Okay, now we got a third perspective. Like all these things, just constantly holding that horizon line. And this was the biggest my horizon line was. This right here, this was the biggest my horizon line was for months on end, for months on end. All right, this was the biggest my box could be. This is like a really big box back then, you know. And now my horizon line is this entire fucking page. All right, so you 100% can achieve whatever you set out to achieve. Yeah, hashtag Vicky inspires. Right, that's good for you. You're actually enjoying it. That's how it should be. You should be enjoying and training yourself to do difficult things. Right, fuck, it's 3:30 and all I've been doing is speaking garbage. Yeah, there's not gonna be much accomplished this session. Okay, so what did that picture of the food stall look like? Right? It was oh, okay, I think I fucked up, but let's see. Because it was like four rods, right? Four sticks attached to okay, so what I can do is maybe I'm gonna make this food truck a lot bigger than I anticipated because I made a mistake now, right? I made a big mistake. So let's see, we can have something come up here. Hi, hey Troubles, how's it going? I saw your comment where you're like, I miss your streams. I know you do, but you never pulled up, motherfucker. It's been it's been 2 weeks. But let's see. So I'm gonna have that established here, and we'll go up here. Yeah, see, like this is how we're going to establish perspective, right? And this is how we're going to establish scale. So just through simple forms, right? This is obviously going to be much larger than his, or like probably on the same line as his legs. But again, this is much more curved because obviously in perspective wise, right? Like this is the plane that's being thought of like that versus when it's much lower because let's say the vanishing point somewhere off here, it's like this, right? So that's something to keep in mind as well. But yeah, Jack Bendler and continue, keep fucking going. Just believe in the fact that you will figure it out because you will, right? I spent 2 years simply practicing boxes and cylinders, and as complicated as I can make them in terms of how they were in relation to each other, and I simply just believed because that's all you can do, right? But that belief is the most important thing I want to say right now. Like the belief that you have that you will figure it out is the most important thing. Like it absolutely is the most important thing because that is what's driving your actions, no? Like is that not what's driving all of our actions is the fact that we will figure it out? And that's the truth though, right? As long as you believe you'll figure it out, as long as you work to continually try to figure it out, given enough time, and time means years, time means decades, right? You will figure it out. You just have to also establish what does figuring it out mean for you, right? Figuring it out for me is becoming my own version of Kim Jong-il. That's my definition. So my standards are extremely high. Therefore, I have a much more extended time horizon, right? If for you figuring it out is like, I just want to draw like a slightly better version of me, then you'll figure it out in like 3 months, right? But then after that, you might stagnate. You might not have done enough work to improve your ability to like to learn, right? So that's another thing as well. It's like you want to be able to constantly at least I want to be able to constantly improve and learn, right? Let's see. The simplified mannequin is cool. Thank you again. Like, dude, I haven't drawn a mannequin in so many fucking months. Like, in literally a year, I haven't drawn a mannequin. Is there a vanishing point? There's a vanishing point on the bottom right of the paper. Exactly, exactly. So this is the horizon line. This is where these are all vanishing towards to right now. So bottom right of the paper, maybe that's a bit too like this guy's head is definitely going way more closer to the edge of the paper, but probably still a bit past. But this foot is like it's like slightly past, right? Slightly past. So and you can and the thing is like it's just constantly keeping that in mind and it requires a lot of mental effort. I'm telling you guys right now, like what I'm doing may seem like, oh yeah, he's just doing it, but there's a lot of thinking constantly happening. Like what am I thinking about right now? I'm thinking about how is there a way to like have a box that connects right to this, which is a subtraction. So I have to think like, okay, like how is that going to jut out? You can see all these little dots I'm making are me thinking about that, right? Like how is that jutting out? What am I even having here? Right? Simple forms connected to simple forms, but if we want accuracy, if we want technical feasibility, and we want some sort of consistency in terms of how they relate to each other, like a logic to it, lots of thinking, you know? What is it? First, you learn the rules and then you break it. People just think you learn the rules in a matter of months and then you break it and then you're ass. No, it's like you learn the rules over decades and then you're maestro, right? Oh, ho, 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 savant. Hey, look at him breaking the rules, right? It's like no, it's just hundreds of thousands of intentional repetitions and a constant thirst for knowledge. And I'm quite the thirsty fellow, so. But I haven't been hydrating at all. I can't even speak hydrating at all. So I'll sip on my coffee, which is a vasoconstrictor, and that will dehydrate me further, right? Right, and a diuretic as well. So I'm gonna shit myself soon. But let's see. So something like this is jutting out words. So we'll do something like this. This has been a great exercise so far. I'm gonna say this right now. Like this has been fucking amazing. Like genuinely, it's been really, really good. I love this so much. And again, this is gonna be form blending now, right? Form. Yeah, let's see. So I gotta do something like this. See, maybe that like that compositionally, like the fact that there's a tangent, these are connecting awkwardly to each other is a mistake. But that's a mistake because I didn't calculate appropriately, because it was a giant question mark for me, right? Is this going to make sense? Is this going to work? Who fucking knows? I did it, not until I tried and I did it, right? So that's another beauty of it all, is the fact that it's just about trying and being like, did that make sense? No, it didn't make sense. Okay, cool. Why didn't it make sense? Oh, because I didn't calculate hard enough. All right, Wonderful mistake. You feel good. When you feel good about from making mistakes, your brain pays attention to that, and voila, it learns from it, right? Man, all I do is go on fucking tangents about effort and making mistakes, huh? But I do think there is a market for this, as in people need this. I genuinely believe that you people, that's right, I said you people. I believe that you people need this. I think it's actually very important. I'm practicing drawing the interior of a bus. Awesome. Keep fucking going, right? Try to think as hard as you can, because you will get it at one point. Let's see. Now this, okay, so that is actually relatively accurate. We could just have this go off into the distance, or we can make this connected to this. Like maybe maybe this can be connected to this, right? Somehow. But I do need to think about the food stall. I see. I'm gonna keep going back and forth because I'm trying to figure out the logic. It's difficult to put the details in the right places. It 100% is. So make sure that the large perspective, the large shapes you've established in the correct perspective, are what you focus on first. Because you can see I have a tendency to noodle, but things make more sense when you think about the structure. Finally, you stream when I'm not already asleep. What's up, Blue Mars? I fucking knew it. I knew it that in the last 40 minutes while I was streaming, like last half hour, a bunch of you cunts will show up and make me want to stream longer. But I'll probably stream later tonight as well because I do have piano in an hour and like so I'll be dipping in half an hour. It's what it is. So again, what am I doing? I'm trying to problem solve. Like, what's the structure that works? School's over and I'm afraid of working and spending 2 hours or more on on the bus. Yeah, I mean, commute is the biggest bitch of it all, isn't it? All right, hello, Blue Mars. How's it going? But yeah, okay. Let me think. Let me think. So how? Because I have to think about the actual food stall reference that I saw. Right? I keep saying I'm gonna keep it simple, and then I keep trying to make things more complex. But just simple shapes. Simple shapes. Right? At least it's fucking hard. So fun. Yeah, it is. It 100% is. Exactly. It's so fun. It is so fun. Again, like guys, we can literally gaslight ourselves to have fun with doing difficult things. Right? And 90% of the time when I do draw, I'll tell you this right now. 90% of the time when I do draw, I don't really feel like drawing. Like it's just a fact. Like a lot of the times I don't even feel like drawing, right? But it's the sheer effort, right? And the thing is like when I start like before I do it I don't feel like drawing, but when I do it I'm like, "Oh, amazing. I feel fucking good." Because it's just that beginning part that's the most difficult, right? But okay, so I need to think about that food stall reference that those couple references that I saw. So it was like four pillars. I made these pillars way too thick. So this is starting to look like some regal fucking food stall, way more intense than I meant it to be, right? And I think this is also this curve is a bit too yeah, like it's not I don't think, actually, I don't know if this curve is accurate, but I'm just trying to think. So should we make this go back, or should we have it like all the way and it just goes off the page, or should we have it come here, connect, bless me, and then connect here? Okay, let's really try to recall because recall is a huge part, right? So those food stalls had four essentially what they were is there was like a sign, and then it had a roof, which I already fucked up. Like we could just kind of half-assedly say this is the roof, right? Oh yeah, I forgot to do this. So yeah, I knew perspective was breaking somewhere. Forgot to add the interior. There you go. That already looks more legit. But we have that, and maybe this can also just we'll just angle it. There you go. There you go. So now, okay, that see that already looks much more legit. I've been doing a 1 month anatomy drawing challenge. It'd be cool to see you do one. You'll see me doing it in a year, which and that will be 8 months of the Artwad figure roadmap. Okay, so as you guys have probably noticed from my channel, I'll do one thing and I'll fucking spam it till I get good, and then move on to the next thing. Right now, the decision has been made clear. Okay, spend as long as possible doing the Artwad portrait roadmap, and then probably take a break doing the fundamentals roadmap, and then spend as long as possible doing the figure roadmap, and then yeah, take a break again doing the fundamentals roadmap. Right? I'm not Artwad's target audience in the sense that I will literally do 10 times, 100 times what they require for 10 times longer, and I won't even access like 90% of their content. But when I do, I'll be like their top 1% user who spends the most amount of time on it. Right. So this is why I say this is like delayed gratification channel where like I'm not actually I'm not gonna be doing things for 2 weeks or a month. I'm gonna be doing things for like 8 months or 2 years. Right. So it's been helping. It's been helping. But that random tangent aside, okay, so they had four pillars, and the food stall was basically something that was here, right? Like this was the food stall. Okay, so we just need to figure out how to connect this. I think I can do it. I think what we can do is perhaps have something come out here, right? So it connects this way. So yeah, we can just have like something kind of jutting out here. Let's just again, it's gonna be a simple shape right now. It's just gonna be a box, right? Dude, I don't know why. Roadmaps, where are they? Click the link in description. Click the link in description. I'm not affiliated with Artwad, by the way. Artwad, ARTWOD. I'm just a huge dick rider, as my fans know. I Viggy fam on their faces as often as I can. but yeah, and they have something called roadmaps, right? Which is basically a learning journey. Again, my advice will always be spend 10 times the amount of repetitions and effort that they require of you. Because again, they're really nice. Like it's a business model, right? So they're trying to be nice to beginners. And what are beginners? Pussies. Nobody wants to put the work in, right? I'm not saying you're a pussy, but I'm saying the general beginner is a pussy. They don't want to put the work in. But if you feel like that calls you out, wonderful. You have an opportunity to put the work in, right? Like nothing changes on that front. But either way, okay, so we can do something like this, right? And by the way, like when I say all this shit, it comes from me obviously calling myself out too, because I was a huge pussy as well, right? We are all pussies on this blessed day. But again, I see like my mind wants to so badly like add little subtractions and all that shit to this. Oh, see, I fucked up the perspective, but this is the beauty. We can just kind of go over it and be like, nope, no, I didn't. You see, no, I didn't. It's not that bad. I didn't fuck it up that badly. But see, I'm forgetting the yeah, I'm forgetting the fucking the vanishing point. So this is actually even though I thought I didn't fuck it up, I did. You can see like this is converging a lot more than this line, but that's just how it is. That's a mistake. That's a good mistake. And again, another mistake here is like this is way too close versus that's not that close. I bought a sketchbook for $3.04. It's still on the way. Very good, very good. Good on you. But let's see. I do hate how like my phone keeps fucking blurring and shit, but what are you gonna do? Right? Because I didn't think this through as well. This should have been much higher. See, she should put this line up here. So that's another mistake, right? And now compositionally, it just kind of looks fucking stupid. Um, let's see. I'm just trying to figure this out. It looks really fucking dumb, but maybe okay, maybe oh maybe I can how can I fix this mistake? How can this mistake be fixed? Well, it can be fixed if I just bring this up and then just do something like this, right? If I'm gonna make the mistake, I'm gonna make the mistake on both ends, clearly, like that, right? But again, like that ellipse was a bit inaccurate, but we still have to follow it now because I've established the inaccuracy. It's like when you make a mistake, you just have to make everything else around it relevant to that mistake, right? Which then makes it seem intentional and not a mistake. It's actually pretty beautiful in that regard. You know, I just wish this pen didn't tell me to go fuck myself and it wasn't like just bleeding dry, which is the annoying part, right? But yeah, I hope you all get inspired. Hashtag Viggy inspired by my hashtag Viggying. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Whatever. Okay, so this is connected this way. So over here, right? It should be. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Because this is the plane, and over here, like this, and if I bring this back, right? If I just bring it back and this is the end of this plane, that and then it should be connected way over there. Yeah. There you go. That seems relatively accurate. It could be wrong. It's all based on thinking and trying to figure out calculations at the end of the day, right? Yeah, that should be okay. I think it's very brave that when you draw environments, you don't plan it out first. Um, yeah, no, thank you. I mean, I appreciate that, right? Like that's very kind of you to say. The main thing is just the fact that oh, I actually have more ideas here. Let's do something like this. Oh, finally, the pen ink flow is actually fucking working. Okay, so regarding like not planning it out, that's just pure practice, right? That's just purely I've oh shit, see the perspective's off. So see, I make mistakes all the time. All the time I make mistakes, right? Like literally all the fucking time I make mistakes. But I guess okay, what I'll say now is well, again, like I'm trying to talk while think, I'm trying to draw and think while talking as well. So very difficult. So yeah, like I completely fucked up the perspective here. So we just have to kind of make it make sense. Right. Let's see. I'll get to you. I'll get to you. I know some other people have talked and said shit as well, but I'm just trying to think out loud. Let's see. Let's try to fix this, even though it's gonna make it look a bit awkward. And then we'll make yeah, two smaller ones in the middle. Maybe that'll work, maybe that won't. Okay, so regarding not planning, I am planning. The thing is, I've trained myself. In the beginning, it was a box, right? Plan the box in your mind. Then it became multiple boxes, right? Huge leap. Everything I'm saying right now, like I did this, then I did this. Just assume doing it was extremely difficult and took hundreds of repetitions and dozens of hours. And then assume the next thing that I say also was an incredibly difficult cognitive leap and also took dozens and dozens of hours and hundreds of repetitions, right? Like every new thing is a complete, it's a skill, right? So in the beginning, the planning was a box. Then the planning became a couple boxes. Then the planning became a couple cylinders or one cylinder or two with the couple boxes in the same perspective. Then it became multiple cylinders. Then it became, okay, how can I just add a fuck ton of these and just spam that for 2 years straight, right? So I like practiced a lot of just intentional forethought and just only drawing with pen, right? And then the rest is history, literally my channel history, right? Is it's all in the fucking it's all in the fucking exactly. It's all in the intro video. See, we're trying to fix this slowly but surely. And don't call me Shirley. Oh, see, I fucked that up. Because even now, like I can't really I keep losing the perspective here. Right. I realized that drawing forced is bad because I would take something to learn, understand it, and then hit a flat line. Drawing using curiosity as fuel is a smoother way to learn. Exactly. Like the biggest thing I've been internalizing is just what if. What if I do this? What if I do that? What if, what if, what if? Because when you keep telling yourself what if, you actually like yeah, your curiosity is what gets you there. So like these are not even, but it's what it is. Here, we'll even make this look kind of fancy by adding a partial ellipse. Right there you go. I thought I would do something here. It didn't really turn out how I wanted it to, so that's fine, right? And let's make this, again, based on the perspective, go back a little bit. We'll obviously have it connect up up till here, I guess, and then we'll have it. There you go. Oh, see, that's a mistake as well. See, I'm losing the perspective a lot. I'm losing the perspective a lot. But yeah, guys, it's just intentional training. Like you're just training it, right? Like that's really the biggest takeaway. Is just you're quote unquote just training an extremely difficult skill, which of course will be very difficult, like I said, right in the beginning, and then it's gonna exponentially. You're just gonna be like, holy shit, I can do this now, right? That's the beauty of it. See, like I might not these might not even be connected properly, but I'm trying, right? I am trying. Is there anything here that doesn't make sense? No, that all makes sense. We can have this go back. Yeah, we'll just have this go back. So we'll have it again, like while I'm doing this, when you get lost in the tiny details like this, which is why I tried to keep it simple but still complex, is you forget the perspective and the vanishing points. Yeah, it doesn't feel like an effort. If it doesn't feel like an effort, you're doing something wrong. Exactly. If it doesn't feel like you're struggling, then you're not struggling. Therefore, you're not learning. You should always like look at me like right now. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? How does this make sense? I'm constantly making a really legitimate effort. And even then, I could always make more. We could always make more of an effort. Of course, we could always make more of an effort. Right. And that's the beauty of it is like as you continue to try, your ability to try will increase as well. Like your ability to literally try will also increase, you know? And that's beautiful too. That's genuinely beautiful too. Now, like I don't know if this logically makes sense, but I just thought it looked cool. So it's something we'll have. Right? And then in perspective, maybe, just maybe I'll have a diagonal, right? And okay, like how are these diagonals being calculated? Again, perspective, dot, 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 right? That's the perspective. Bring it down here. Okay, so this is the angle I've chosen, right? This unit to this unit, basically the same. Same thing here. Follow the perspective, right? And then bring it up again. Same unit, following the perspective, right? This is gonna be like, oh yeah, makes sense. But when you try it, it's extremely difficult, which just tells you it's all calculations. Now it's a lot more intuitive. Even me explaining it, I'm just re-explaining my intuition. But in the beginning, like I can also do something like this, right? Bring this here, bring this down here. Let's see if I want to bring that there, then bring this equally equivalent to there, and then I can just do another one, right? Let's see, something like this, right? And I'm really trying to think about the perspective. It could be completely off, by the way. Like that's another thing you should know. Is like it could be completely off. but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna try, right? That doesn't mean I'm not. Where are you planning to take your art style? More realistic or more stylized? Oh, good question. A perfect mix. I literally want the perfect mix of like comic book art and manga art. So I mean that's why I admire Peter Han's art style and Kapinski's art style and Kim Jong-il's art style because their art style is something I genuinely think would be is like really cool. The only thing is I want the eyes like that like anime type eyes to be a little bit more influenced. Like I want the eyes to be a little bit bigger, wider, and more expressive. This is just me saying this right now, fucking 3 years in, right? What it actually turns into could be pretty decently different, right? It'll probably keep the core of what I'm saying right now, but it definitely could be pretty decently different, right? And that's something that's completely fine. Like that's just the natural evolution of art style. I'm not even thinking about art style right now. I'm just thinking about because as I go through the portrait roadmap, right? As I am going through the portrait roadmap, my art style and the decision making will actually come to fruition there. Well, I'll be a lot more like I'll actually be able to think about what am I trying to do, right? Right now it doesn't really mean anything. But this doesn't look this does not look like a fucking food stall, bro. This does not look like a goddamn food stall. This is starting to look like a fucking factory. I swear. But yeah, stylization is something obviously like I would like to do something like cool, right? The most basic fucking answer. I want to do something that looks cool. Good job, dickhead. So does everybody who draws. Oh, okay. Right. Looks like a billboard. I know. I mean, this is supposed to be a billboard. This is something that it's like a food sign, right? So like I'm trying to turn this into a fucking food stall, but it's literally turning into a factory. But at least the power of simple shapes is benefiting me because I'm doing this all using simple shapes, which I'm very proud of for myself. Because like this is, and again, like look, fundamentals are not boring, right? These are all simple shapes. They're boxes and cylinders with slight manipulations, not even intense. Apart from this is a fuck up on my end. I wasn't trying to make it that intense, but like yes, these are still difficult. Doing subtractions is still difficult. Doing additions is still difficult. I'm not saying it's not difficult, but I'm saying these are boxes and cylinders with slight manipulations. All right. So fundamentals are not boring. We are boring, right? It just takes a certain level of technical proficiency. I.e., if you look at my this is a video for beginner artists. You are not alone. Like that's the first 2 years, right? So yeah, it took me 2 years of really practicing to get to a decent level of technical proficiency where I could quote unquote not be boring, right? So that journey is important. Those 2 years were important to reframe it as not I have to do this thing so I can draw what I want. It's this is literally all that matters. Therefore, I'm going to train myself to enjoy it. And that's where the journey of okay, learn neuroplasticity, learn how learning works, learn that making mistakes and feeling good about making mistakes is literally the best thing for your fucking brain in terms of learning faster. Learn that, gap effects, right? Taking a break of 10 seconds while you're learning makes a huge difference, right? Spacing effect, right? Learn that thinking purely on based on the effort is the number one thing you can do for your learning, right? Even and the thing is like even if all of this was not beneficial, purely from a neuroplasticity point of view, right? If none of this actually helped your learning be faster, it's still beneficial to train your mindset consistently to have this belief because it's going to make you feel better about your art, right? Like so even if it wasn't beneficial to the degree that I'm saying that it is and to the degree that it is like it is beneficial, right? Yeah. So you ever draw from reference or observation? Oh, hey, Kai, Graham 2721. I draw from reference here and there, but mostly I focus on drawing from recall, right? And like I observe, like I look at things and I try to observe them. And yeah, like I do draw from reference. Like if you look at the last stream, the second half of last stream, I was looking at a helmet design, right, of a concept artist, and I was just trying to figure out like what shapes and shit they used, you know? And that was really beneficial because it made me realize that like made me understand because I was literally drawing it from reference. I'm like, oh, they use this types of shapes. So I draw from reference. Let's say like 10 to 20% of the time. Um, in terms of like actually drawing from reference, right? Obviously, the portrait roadmap, I'm looking at a reference and I'm projecting a box onto the reference and a sphere inside that box and the center lines. If you look at my videos, like that's what I'm doing, right? But then when it comes to like actually drawing, it's all about observation, like trying to pay attention to the world around me. Again, this food stall, this is coming from me looking at a fucking food stall for 10 minutes, not even like a minute on Pinterest. I'm like, oh yes, okay, so it looks like this. Did I retain anything? Not really, which is why recall is important. Where I'm like, oh, there were pillars, there was a thing jutting out, there was a billboard, right? But my belief is the more your ability to draw complex shapes from imagination and your ability to understand form from imagination improves, the more your ability to retain, understand, and observe the complex shapes around you and to apply it, right? I don't think it's the other way around. I don't think observing complexity it makes you be able to draw complexity. I think being able to draw complexity makes observing complexity easier, and then breaking it down into simpler shapes easier, right? That's just what I believe. And I think it makes logical sense too. Like I think it makes complete logical sense. Where it's like, oh, okay, like yeah, it makes sense that we would want to be able to draw complexity and to be able to really have our fundamentals be strong, right? Like that just makes a lot of sense to me. Hello, hold up. I know somebody said hello. Give me a second. I'm gonna hello you back. But that's just the way I see it. I genuinely think it makes a lot of sense, right? See, I fucked this up, so we're just gonna have to kind of make a line here that says like, oh yeah, it's part of the design, right? It's just part of the design. Well, I guess if I did it here, I'll have to do it everywhere. And you can see my lines are really shit. Like, I hope you guys can see my lines are really, really, really shit. Right? Like, look at this. Like, look at this fucking, like, this jankiness. But that's good. Like, it's good thing that my lines are shit. Right? Because what does that mean? That I can just keep feeling good and keep putting a lot of effort into making them not shit. Right? But look at it. Like, even with shit lines, look just with understanding a form, how much can be accomplished. Right? So this is coming up here, but that's going back there. So you know what? We'll make this slightly okay, I guess that kind of works, right? It's slightly wider. Let's see. I see. Hello. Hey. I think it's like that too. Hello, Milena Chavez 6846. Right. I think somebody asked a question, right? Yeah, a reference and observation. Okay, sorry. I'm just getting distracted by the chat. We have 10 minutes before I have to go, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed this. This has been a great practice and just really simplifying things and trying to again like because of all the mech practice I've been doing, like the fucking helmet practice, right? It's been really forcing me to think about how things attach to each other. You know, whether it's a real thing or not, just thinking about how things attach and now doing it in simple shapes has been again, it's all a trickle down effect. They all help, right? I know this probably doesn't make the most amount of sense for sure. But yeah, like it's literally all just slowly but surely helping. So this is, I don't know what the fuck this ended up being, but you know, maybe just to like establish the perspective, and we'll make the other side a little bit different, I guess. And look, like you can see my perspective's a bit off, so we'll just have to be like, oh yeah, it's a bit tilted, right? But no, perspective is just objectively off. Like, look at this shit, bro. Like this is at this point, this person is actually tilted away, and this has to be, or like these two are in different perspectives now, relatively, right? Like this is clearly in a different perspective of this, but that's the beauty is like we can fraud that in real life. Like real life can have that sort of frauding, and that's my justification. Not that I not that I couldn't see it, not that I kept losing the vanishing point. That's not the explanation at all. It's the fact that it's akin to real life. Yeah, it's actually just very accurate, you know, because what kind of bullshit word can I use? Because contemporary art, pee pee poo poo. Anyways, right. So now we can think about foreshortening, right? Let's see. So again, I gotta think about the perspective. Gotta think about the perspective. Well, clearly because now this is just situated differently than this person right here. We'll have it. It's obviously a bit more further away, right? The vanishing point. It's wide, right? Yeah, it's wider. It's wider. So we'll bring this up a little bit, and let's see. See, like I try to do it in my mind a lot, but also I do a lot of ghosting. Like that's the mix. Like I try to do my mind a bunch, and I try to ghost it, and I try to do my mind a bunch, and they both help. They both help quite a bit. Definitely want to set the scale decently. Oh fuck, see, I fucked that line up. So I hope it helps. Like I genuinely keep fucking up all the time, right? Like what you're seeing here is just a myriad of fuck ups where I'm like, oh, I felt so good, neuroplasticity, I feel so good, I'm fucking up, and I just keep going, I just keep going, right? And that's the best part is like you can just keep fucking up and then you can just keep going. There's no rule that says you can't fuck up and not keep going. Okay, I think this is diverging slightly. So look, just to make it ta-da, there you go. Now we just because we made that mistake, we'll just add it here again. Also trying to think about scale, right? Like objects that are further away do get smaller. So that's something we have to consider. Maybe this will just be another little cylinder here. Whee! Right. I don't know what that is. That kind of looks like ass. Whatever. We'll add another one. There you go. And now again, objects that are further away do tend to get smaller. So it's like how much do I also want to converge this, right? And also that's thicker. So clearly, like relatively speaking, that's too much. That's way thicker than that one. But it's not bad. It's not bad. What do you guys think so far? And I hope you're drawing along. Like, are the things I'm saying making sense, right? Like it's really just constant honing fundamentals. And yeah, like playing, like trying to figure out and understand things. But I'm actually a bit scared. Like I'm genuinely getting worried because the more advanced I'm getting, the harder it's getting for me to explain what I'm able to do, which is why I'm always trying to go back to being like simple forms, thinking about the perspective, because that's really all it is, right? And then the rest is okay. It's like it's simple forms, right? And trying to it's basically boxes and cylinders, and then you try to you just consistently slowly increase the complexity of what you can do with those boxes and cylinders, right? That's why Art Wad's amazing because they literally start with those two, and then they just give you the manipulations. Your job is literally just to do a hundred and the thousands of that, like sequentially, right? And literally in the order that they fucking provide. So it worries me. It worries me that I cannot explain myself to the degree that I would like to. If it's actually helping you, I'm glad. Like if you find that my explanation is actually helpful, that'd be great. Because what and I never want to ever discount the amount of effort it takes, right? The effort and just how many repetitions are actually required, right? Not how many repetitions you think are required, but how many repetitions are actually required, right? That's also very important. So yeah, I mean, whatever I say, I hope it helps, right? I think I made another mistake, is like I made this too close. See, I made another mistake. This is too close. So we're just gonna have this be part of it, and then this is probably gonna have something different. Yeah, we might as well just make it a different structure. But let's try to establish this fucking food stall already, right? So let's bring this down, right? But yeah, I hope what I'm saying does help and makes sense, right? Fuck, man, why is the quality on this video so bad? Oh no, it's just blurred when I draw. Fucking that's retarded. That's some gay shit, as a wise man once said. Anyways, let's see. Oh, if this is a food stall, well, it does. Okay, good, good. Like I know I speak fast. I know perhaps some things can just be lost in translation, but I genuinely want to say that I understand how difficult things are in the beginning, and like what you're looking at right now is still very difficult. It's just when you do more and you do a lot more and you keep trying to get better and you keep doing more and you do hundreds and over months and months and months and years, just what you define as difficult changes, right? And the amount of mental energy allocated to the things you defined as difficult in the beginning is exponentially less, right? So right now, I'm still thinking about the vanishing point. I'm still thinking about the horizon line, and I'm still thinking about the simple shapes clearly, because that's the point of this entire exercise. But I am allocating severely less mental energy because drawing is thinking, cognitive energy, right? To this horizon line. Again, in the beginning, my horizon line for months on end, by the way, literally since I started, for months on end, my horizon line was this big, and then it went to like this big, and then I went to like this big. And then, second year in, it went to like this big. And now third year, like after finishing 3 years, I'm 3 years and 2 months in, right? And now like 3 years and 2 months in, it's like this big. But it was like, just imagine like if this is what was happening to the horizon line, that each time I move like half a fucking millimeter, that's like a month, right? So it's like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. And now we're at fucking, what is it, 24? No, 32, 36 months, right? It's like, oh, that makes sense, right? Because the effort for that never went away. The effort for that constantly stayed, right? So again, like I started at the same place as you. I literally have a video proving that I started at the same place as you, right? And if I started ahead, great. It's not going to take long for you to catch up because catching up to just drawing a decent line is the same amount of sheer effort for everyone, right? And if you have to put in more work, cool. If you have to put in less work, also cool. Everybody has a different baseline, but that doesn't mean you can't get here. It's just what you might be thinking. It'll take me an extra 5 months to get here, and the reality is, it'll just take me an extra 3 weeks of more intensive work because getting to the baseline of drawing a pretty shitty line is the same for everybody. And then once you can draw a shitty line, then it's the same amount of work to being able to draw a slightly less shitty line like this, right? But yeah, like I'm telling you, you can draw because I can draw and I couldn't draw. I was just extremely patient when I was young, which made people think I was talented. But I spit on the word talent, and you should too, right? Because you're just giving away responsibility of your actions to some vague concept that may or may not be true, right? And if it is true, cool. Work even fucking harder, right? Become talented by proving that hard work is the talent. Um, and then you too can just be like, ha, I just draw like 5 lines a day. When somebody asks you how you get so good, completely fuck their expectations. Okay, so I'm trying to think. I'm really trying to think like how can I connect this, right? Before I go, oh fuck, it's four. Fuck me, it's four. Okay, yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go. This is all I could do in the hour and a half, which again may not seem like much, but it was extremely difficult. And I was thinking the entire time, I'm gonna have to like look at some more fucking pictures of food stalls later when I come back. But I'll be back tonight. I'll be back in like 6 to 8 hours, right? If you're not here, you're not here. That's fine. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys drew along. You know, how do you like the drawing? It was cool, right? But with that being said, right, I'm just gonna call it here. Yeah, see you, man. Cool, cool. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Don't continue drawing, obviously, right? Don't let this be a reason for you to stop. But yeah, I hope I helped. Hope I inspired. Hope I hashtag ViggyFamed everywhere. And with that being said, as always, fuck you for fuck. It's two fingers. Fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please give me money. I'm just gonna have to fucking awkwardly. God damn it.